Okay, so hey everybody, Eric here, Posh Ninja, blah 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 blah. Yes, move this over. So I normally don't do this, but I woke up today seeing that this article popped up. It was on my notifications, and I was like, "Huh." Like, oh, what are they? What are they doing? What are the changes? And learning that they're actually disabling the PS3 and PS Vita support. But that's not the reason why I want to talk about this. Not the reason why I felt so compelled to make this. It's what's said uh, that really irked me. So let's get to it. We'll read through it. I'll talk during it. Like I'll probably stop at a few points. But yeah, let's. Jesus Christ, professional. But yeah, let's get right to it. Changes start this year in select markets, followed by global changes in 2027. After nearly 2 decades of supporting the PS3 console generation, we wanted to let you know we will be closing the PlayStation Store on PS3 as well as PS Vita. PlayStation Store on PS3 will close in select markets starting this year, followed by global closures for PS3 and PS Vita next year. That means new content purchases will no longer be possible once a PlayStation Store closes on these devices. To ease the transition, players will still be able to download previously purchased content after closing date for the foreseeable future. So that's not what got me, because I understand, right? Things get outdated. People don't use these things anymore. It costs money to keep servers up. I get it, right? That's understandable. But it's the next bit that starts to get to me the most. As the PlayStation Store I'm continuing reading. As the PlayStation Store continues to evolve to support modern commerce systems, quote unquote, evolve, including updated payment processing standards, PS3 and PS Vita are no longer able to support these updates at the level required. As a result, we will need to close PlayStation Store on these devices in the time frame as follows, and these are like the dates right here. I'm not sure if you can see my fucking cursor. Oh yeah, there it is. It wasn't there. But yeah, these are the dates. Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, close in August 2036. Latin America's, Middle Eastern countries, late 2026, and then everywhere else in July 2027. We know this news may be disappointing to PS3 and PS Vita players who hold a special place in their hearts for this generation of gaming. PS3 and PS Vita represents an important era in our PlayStation history, so this was not an easy decision for us to make. Sure, it wasn't. As we continue to expand the PlayStation experience, I have to stop right there for a second. As we continue to expand, right? They're saying expand the PlayStation experience. In what way, Sony? In what way were you actually expanding the experience? I'll get more into that in a bit, but that was like the first salt on the wound. Experience on newer devices that most of our users are playing on today. We need to focus more on resources. We need to focus more resources on delivering the best gaming experiences on these platforms as we look ahead towards the future. What do you mean? We need to focus more resources on delivering the best gaming experience. Like Concord? Like High Guard? Like Marathon? Suicide Squad killed the Justice League? I know that wasn't you particularly, but what? What do you mean? Where are the resources going? Anyway, to our amazing players, we want to give our heartfelt thanks for your ongoing passion and support, which has helped inspire us to shape PlayStation into what it is today. We are excited for the future ahead as we continue to push the boundaries of play. We look forward to having you on this journey with us as we explore new game worlds and new adventures that have yet to come. And then they have this down here. For an important update on physical disc production for new games, there is none, by the way. Just so you guys understand, they're ceasing production on physical media in the coming years. So basically, discs will no longer be a thing. So to those of you who prefer to have disc, it's not going to be a thing. But in a way, it hasn't been for a little while, at least for certain companies, because of the fact that they make it so here's a box, and here's a code. There's no disc, or even if you want the disc, sometimes there's a moment where you get the disc, right? But you have to have internet to be able to use it. That's a thing. But yeah, so that's what that's talking about. But yeah, so I was had a lot of words to say about this little tidbit, about this whole thing. It really just irked me, especially the statement when they were mentioning, where is it? Continuing to push boundaries. In what way? Where were boundaries being pushed? Because from what I've seen over the past decade, it's been nothing but safe plays, more stupid, but safe in their eyes, and expanding. Like what? Like where was that? I remember reading that, but it was up here, I thought. Hold on. I'm going to be editing this video today, and it's not going to be much, but it's just going to be easier to future. Prayer processors, standalones, timelines, Rito, hard generation of gaming, easy decision. That shit was bullshit. Oh yeah, there it is. Expand the PlayStation experience. Shut the fuck up. There's no expanding. So yeah, so I read this and I thought, what the fuck? You think we're stupid? Like, is that what this is? Is this a fucking joke? It's like, I know it's not, because it's going to go through no matter what we do. But that irked me so much that I normally never post, right? Sometimes I do, but it's very seldom. Very. And so I decided, oh, you know what? Fuck these people. What was it? There was a thing up here. Don't be a jerk. Fuck you. Don't be a jerk. What do you mean? I've been a customer for years. Decades. Since the PlayStation 1. I was a fucking baby when I played this shit. Like, not even kidding. There was a controller in my hand at the age of 2. But I'll dig more into that later. But this, I was so annoyed. So here we go. We are excited for the future ahead as we continue to push the boundaries of play. I don't know who you're trying to fool, but PlayStation has been stagnant and in most cases going backwards for a while now. No boundaries have been pushed, no real risks taken. The things gamers really want are constantly pushed aside while games you make and studios you manage crumble. This is just insane. PlayStation should really be looking back on these generations instead of shutting them down, because there's a reason these times were remembered as the highlights of gaming. And I can assure you, it's not because of nostalgia. And not just nostalgia. This is when boundaries were pushed, risks were taken, and the people who made the games actually cared about the games they were making and gamers they were making them for. The PS4 and below were the times that made gaming great. Now it's nothing more than just corporate greed and politics that I personally don't care about. PlayStation returning to what it was is nothing but a dream at this point. And I forgot to put the I, and I look forward to the next generation of indie companies and studios to take the AAA's place. This was out of passion because I'm a gamer of gamers. I remember I used to think I was like a casual. Like, oh, I'm a casual gamer. I'm fucking not a casual. But looking at my library and what the fuck I do, the amount of games I've played, I am not casual. I've played, and especially when it came to PlayStation, like I've played everything. I've played Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, right? Game Boy Color, PS Vita. Love that fucking thing. But Sony has been my mainstay since I was a baby. And just seeing this company fall so far really just, it gets me because it played such a huge part in my history. It was the first thing I touched. It was one of the first things I touched. One of the first experiences I had with my dad. It was an experience I got to share with my brothers, with friends, the games I would be excited for when I would see them releasing Ghost of Tsushima, Infamous, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Like it's like going back in time to all these games, and then the Batman Arkham series. That's not PlayStation exclusive, but it's just I played them on there. That was my go-to system. That was my go-to thing to do. Everything was PlayStation. Everything I loved and cared deeply the most was PlayStation. And it's heartbreaking. Like, this wasn't me screaming to scream. This is what I've seen. I know this shit. I've kept track of everything that's been going on in the gaming industry. Especially during COVID. That was the time when I really started paying attention. Because Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League was the flare. Like, no one saw a lot of this shit. Like, we noticed something was going on, but that was like one of the biggest things. Then we started seeing everything going on with the gaming industry, where people are going into gaming companies who are not qualified and just being hired because of whatever the fuck they were. And then it was just like either through nepotism or through really shady hiring practices. I'm not going to dig into politics here. I don't care to, because politics could separate anybody. But when it comes to fucking gaming, that is me in my core. That is a big chunk of me. And when it comes to gaming, I pay attention. I recognize the patterns. I see what's going on. And this is fucked up. But I also know it's inevitable. But hey, look at Xbox. And if you don't know what's going on with Xbox is burning to the fucking ground. Like, it is bad. Hold on. I wasn't expecting to talk about Xbox, but let me pull this up real quick. Xbox status, discussing what's happening with Xbox 6 hours ago. No. Whatever. I don't know too much on. It's like, I know basically the long and short of what's going on with Xbox. The long and short of what's been going on with Xbox is that there's major layoffs coming. There's big layoffs coming. And from what it looks like, Microsoft is starting to see that their gaming division isn't doing so hot. And it's one of those where it's because they're not doing the thing they're meant to do. They're not making games for gamers. They're just not. They're appealing to an audience that doesn't give a fuck about video games. They only care about arguing and or whatever the hell they want to do being represented. Like, they want to feel represented. It's like, there's plenty of games out there that do that. Like, I'm all about sharing gaming, right? Because that was a whole thing. People are saying we should have been gatekeeping harder and all this. And I, at this point, agree. And I think it should be very selective on who you choose to bring into it at this point, because it's crazy. But I also don't agree, because gaming is such a big way of sharing myself with other people. And it's one of the best ways that I have fun and doing that. And it's very apparent that a lot of the people who are going into making games right now in the AAA industry are not in it for the love of it. They're not in it to truly share with everyone what they're making and what they want other people to enjoy. It's strictly for them and them themselves. Like, if you're a game developer, movie developer, just anything that you're creating, there's a simple rule that I follow. Make the thing you want to consume. You know, it's just make the game you want to play. Make the movie you want to watch. Make the art you want to see. It's simple. But a lot of it's just trying to push things that nobody really gives a fuck about. And then the people who do care don't use the product anyway. And even if they do use the product, they don't enjoy it. And even if they do enjoy it, that is such a minuscule amount of people. And there are these other games that are trying to make things for everyone. You make something for everyone, you're making something for no one. Because no one's going to be pleased. Like, there's no focus. There's no love. There's no passion. It's just corporate gobbledygook. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. This got like real for a bit, but I am very, very passionate about this stuff. It's like I said, video games were my life. That was a big part of my life. It's not the only thing in my life. I have like loads of other hobbies. I like to draw, and I finally got back into drawing. Like drawing, I like doing this, content creation. I like hanging out with people. But video games are a big chunk of it. But that's where I'm very thankful. Now, to end it on like a more positive note, this sucks, but also this isn't everything. This isn't everything. This isn't the end all be all. When a chapter closes, and maybe even when a book closes, someone will always be there to write a sequel or write their own story that people will end up wanting to read. And that's where a lot of the indies are coming up from. Like Shift Up, like they're not indie, but like AA studios, indie studios, and as well as animation too, and movies, right? Hollywood kind of dropping the ball with a lot of films, but then a lot of indie creators are coming out here swinging. Iron Lung, Backrooms, and The Amazing Digital Circus, Obsession. It just, as bad as things are on one end, other things will rise to the occasion and make something that they enjoy and that we'll enjoy alongside them. And that's where I want to end it on, is that things may suck for this, I have to think the opposite here. Things may suck here, but the majority of it we'll still have, right? Unless they decide to take it away, like some random bullshit. But there are new things along the way. There's always something better. Well, better, but it's like there's always something else. Some things you may not like, some things you may. But there's always going to be something. And I look forward to seeing what those somethings are in the future. So I hope you guys have a lovely day. This was, like I said, very different. I don't do this normally. If you guys do like this, let me know. I mean, chat, I don't know. I'd be willing to give more of this sort of type of video a go. That's only if you guys actually care. But it's like, because I wouldn't gravitate towards this. But if people like it, I'd be willing. I'd be willing to keep going. But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day, night, afternoon, all the time zones. And to all the people, this is going to totally, well, I mean, it's going to totally timestamp my fucking video, but to all the people who are in Europe right now, in the European countries, stay safe, stay as cool as you can, because I am so sorry you guys are dealing with that shit. The heat wave is awful. Please be safe, because some of my main viewers who watch my streams, I'm saying this again, I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys are okay. And same to all of you who aren't dealing with the heat wave nearly as bad still, you know, stay safe, stay cool as much as you can. And I love you all. You are all amazing. Stay awesome. Bye-bye.